Thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. I've started a new project for myself and I'm using a large size Ranger Delusions art journal. So this is the Ranger journal. I've used them before for my other journals and I've started a new one. So this time I'm going with a theme of the Victorian era. About 9 or 10 years ago, I inherited a humongous box of old magazines from 1898 and 1903 that were filled with beautiful advertising and images and stories and things. And for all that time, I have wanted to use them in an art journal, and so now I'm finally getting around to putting them in an art journal. So some of the images are like this. Aren't they beautiful? Just really fun Victorian images, and I love the old advertising. So I plan on doing different layouts with different themes. There will be a page that'll be just all types of corset ads, and it'll be really decorative with corsets. Another one will be with button-up shoes and shoe ads, hats, fashion, antique bicycles, typewriters, pianos, musical instruments, kitchenware, and different kitchen things. The whole book is just going to be filled, each layout, with different ads and different images that create really fun art journal layouts. So let me go ahead and show you the beginning of my book and what I've done so far. So this is a page that was on the cover of one of the ads, and I've put it on the front page, added a doily, and the front page of the magazine said 1898, so I put that on this front page. And I think I'm going to put the words the Victorian era, somehow put that right here, maybe rubber stamped. So here's my first layout that I did, and it's pretty much a fashion layout. It's got an ad from Montgomery Ward Company, which is kind of fun and interesting, for all the Victorian dresses and their prices. And then this was a tag I made with vellum. I put one of the images on the front. I made a card that pulls out with a tag inside that has another woman in it, and when you slide her in, she goes behind the other one and you can see through the vellum. This tag has two really cool images on it, and on the back it's got bustle-backed dresses of the 1890s. The pleats, frills, and ruches of the front skirt panel were pulled backwards and were often tied in place with wide ribbons, emphasizing fashion's newest whim. The necessary silhouette was supported beneath with more wires, padding, and whalebone. Tiny waists emphasize the hourglass shape created with lace-up corsets. So that slips back here in this little pocket created behind these tags. I've got this cute two beautiful images here of the women in their outfits. Down here was an ad on how to take measurements for patterns and dress forms. I thought that was a neat ad. So these two are ads. And it's cut short, so now you see the girl on the edge, as you know I love to do that, coming through from the next page. So the next page, this one's my favorite so far, is hats. So this is a theme of hats. I did go online and I printed out images of old Victorian hat boxes and I collaged them. So I cut them and stacked them and collaged them. I put this hat inside this hat box, this hat on top. I printed out an old Victorian hat stand and put this hat at the top. This box here, I left it open behind it so that I could put ads about hats inside the hat box. And behind this hat, same thing, there's ads that pull out. So all these little ads are cute little ads about hats, because this is a hat-themed page. And then they tuck in behind. Here is starting a millinery business. Look at that big, beautiful hat she's wearing. And here's send no money, only $1.95 for this elegant black velvet hat. Look at these beautiful ads that were in the magazine. And that big hat. So these tuck in just behind this hat box. I love that. It's so cute. And then this was an ad, $1.95 for a pattern for a hat. And then this I created out of a piece of heavy cardstock. I did a bordered edge. The background is done with Distress Oxide inks and a brush just to rub it and make this marbly background. And when you open it, on this side is a full page ad about hats. And then I made these circle tags with different women with hats. I have to move the book in order to show. And it's got feathers, and I put a little charm necklace, like a cameo on this one. On this one, I've got Nuvo drops, and I used a doily to create that lace on her blouse. And then there's a steamer trunk, and behind the steamer trunk are more ads. Dawson Brothers hats, Panama hats, and this one were hats that you could order from Montgomery Ward, which is interesting that they've been around that long. And then this Victorian looking old typewriter, I typed the words, "It's all about hats." And then behind the circles are, these are pictures of hats from the 1850s, hats from the 1870s. They tuck in behind. And then this is information about Victorian era was a century of fashion. In that time, ladies' hats grew from the larger bonnet to the small bonnet, short hat to the tall hat, plain to elaborately decorated. Hat styles came and went every few years. Changes mimicked dress fashions as well as hairstyles. There were hats worn for every occasion, from walking, riding, morning wear, and home use. And those styles were from pre-Victorian 1830s to the mid-Victorian styles. And then that tucks behind. And then this one. Women who could not afford to buy the latest styles made their own from patterns purchased. Material was gathered over a framework of cane or wire. Ribbons and feathers were most generally the trimming. Flowers made from silk ribbons were also used to adorn many hats. By the 1870s, hairstyles became more loose, yet still intricate and elaborate. High-crowned hats with turned-up brims tilting over the forehead became popular to complement the hairstyles. So that is my hats page. So that's what this whole book is going to be like. It's all going to be based on the ads. These beautiful ads and images are what started it. These images were all on a page for purchasing hats, and these hats, this one, this one, this one, and this one, were all on that page as well. They were numbered, and you could send away and buy the hats, and I trimmed out, fussy cut around them, and added them to these tags to make this really pretty page. So they're all going to be like that, art journaling pages that tell the story of each thing that's going to be featured on that page. Like the page about corsets will have information about corsets and lots of pictures about corsets, and you know, probably a corset popped up and one that I lace up and things like that. So it's going to be so fun to play in this and get all these ads put into and images put into this book. It's going to be so cool. When it's done, it's going to be filled with just Victorian era stuff. So I hope you like this, and if you're interested, let me know. I have these images. I scan them before I use them, just in case I want to use a specific image somewhere else in my book. So I can put them in the Etsy shop as digitals, as digital kits. And so if you are interested, I wasn't sure if the Victorian era would interest most people, so I didn't go ahead and do that until I hear whether or not that's something you would be interested in. So if you have an interest, you want to do art journal pages with some really cool Victorian stuff that is from authentic 1898 magazines, which is just so cool, let me know, and I will create some digitals, and I'll try to do it as inexpensively as possible. I know that's a competitive market out there, but it takes so much time, and Etsy charges so many fees. So But I try to make all my digitals as inexpensive as possible. So let me know, and I hope you'll play along. If not, and you'll just want to enjoy watching as I do a few layouts at a time, I'll come and show them to you and show you and tell you what I've done just to inspire you. So thanks for stopping by, and go make some art, because art soothes the heart.